Board games, that's what we're going to play. Board games, it's a fun way. Board games, that's what we're all about. Board games, we're not gonna shout. Yay! Board games. And today I am very lucky to have some wonderful people along with us. We have Kathleen Mercury.
Hi, Bez. Thanks for having me. Yay.
And we've got Shazz from Settlers.
Hello.
And we've got Jason, the musician.
Hey.
And finally, myself. I'm Bez.
Yay.
So, today it is Thursday, and as we do every Thursday at 8 to 10 p.m, although I think that next week we are going to start going back to the 8 p.m. time slots, because that was actually changed because of the clapping for carers, which is now no longer a thing, same as Boo for Boris. I wanted to allow people to do that if they wanted, but yeah, that's kind of fizzled out. So anyway, so we're going to probably go back to 8 p.m. But anyway, the point is, like every Thursday, it is a Thursday prize play along. And we are going to be playing 2 games tonight. We're going to be playing Giftable as well as Say Anything. Are you familiar with these games, Shaz? Shaz?
I believe so, yes. We've got it in the shop. Yeah, yep. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, there was a wee bit of a delay there. But
yeah, cool. Yep.
So we're going to be playing.
No, it's okay.
Say Anything.
Yes, I believe so.
Ooh. There seems to be a wee bit of a lag, so sorry I spoke over you there, Shaz. You've kind of broken up for a moment.
Bit of a lag.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But just because you are our
no, it's okay.
special guest, and I'm excited to talk to you on Sunday morning, and we can have a proper one-to-one chat about your shop and everything. You've set up an online version of your store, settlersestore.com, as people can see down at the bottom. How are you generally doing?
We're doing okay. We're surviving, is the main thing. It's a bit scary at first, particularly for the 2 months, because we didn't have an e-store at that point.
Yeah,
but this situation has really pushed it forward. So, it's now bringing. So yeah, we're getting there.
Well done on kind of adapting and changing your business around. And Kathleen, how are you doing generally?
I'm doing great. I am a teacher, so I'm off during the summers. So I came and I'm staying with friends on the East Coast, and my friend works in the gaming industry, so we're able to play lots of games and kind of kick around some prototype ideas and play with his family. That's lovely, and so it's been great.
And we've got a wee surprise guest. Sorry, it was lots of back and forth, but we have the super lovely Jess from Uncon.
Hiya. Hello.
Hi, nice how are you?
I'm okay. I've just raced against the traffic, but I'm glad I could join you all.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. And I think last time that I saw you might have been in what's that place? Not Stirling, the other place in Scotland, in Tabletop Scotland. What's the place it is? Not Paisley. You know, where's Tabletop Scotland?
I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. That place.
It's not Falkirk. It's not.
Go through the alphabet.
Perth. Did he say Perth?
Yes, Perth. Yes, that's the one.
We always knew that.
I'd have got there. If you let me get all the way to P, I'd have got there.
Perth, yeah.
So, yeah, I believe I saw you last, nearly a year ago now it was.
August,
and we played
yeah.
a few games of Categorical, which I was told that you would possibly beat me at. I did manage to hold my own, but
so
it
close,
was a
though.
very tight match. I was very impressed. So you've got to, what we've got to do is next time you pick the category.
Yeah. You must have had all of them ready. I swear it was a setup.
I have played it so lots of times, as you might hope, you know, over the course of development and everything. And finally, going back to the lovely Jason, how are you?
I'm doing all right, thanks. I took the day off and ended up watching Doctor Who and napping, which I very much needed in this heat. So hopefully back tomorrow to actually do some more writing on my thesis, hopefully.
That sounds awesome.
Definitely needed that.
Now, I'm going to, quickly tell everyone about something special, which is...
Show on CBeebies, apparently.
Competition time, competition time. This is a song for competition time. Competition time! Now, competition time. You need to say what is a good thing. Explain why it's good, and make sure to use the word good in your comments, and you will automatically enter the competition. So if you do that, as you can see at the bottom, then you might win bits of Innerbind Junior, which is totally out of print, both contractually and because I have no desire to continue reprinting it. Now Gigamic's doing a good job with Yogi. And I found out from Nick Smith at Ludicrous today that Nick Smith tried putting Yogi through their high temperature dishwasher to sanitize it, and it does survive. So yay.
That's hilarious.
I can dishwasher my cards? That's fantastic.
Yes. And so if you want, apparently Yogi can totally be played in the world of COVID if you have like an industrial dishwasher running, you know, in between games, because you get it off people, you run it through the dishwasher, then you play it with the next group of people. And Nick's doing this with a couple of different games to make sure that groups of people who play in, well, they can stay together, but they aren't potentially infecting someone else with the games. And that is a really sharp move.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so you could win this old pack of Innerbind Junior, or indeed you could win some bespoke artwork. And all you need to do is tell me what is something that you've been enjoying. Maybe it's a meal, maybe it's you enjoy the sun. Whatever it is, just tell me what is a good thing.
You must use good. You must use the word good.
And speaking of good things, let's talk about recent highlights. Recent highlights. Hearing music and seeing sights. Recent highlights. Quickly round the thing. For me, a recent highlight was that I did a good bit of exercise today. I'm quite chuffed with myself. I was spinning the hula hoop in the garden for nearly an hour. I was slapping my left thigh and slapping my right thigh whilst kind of spinning the hula hoop this way and the other way. I'm quite chuffed. I'm almost able to slap my left foot, but not quite, because it's just a little bit further to go, and it's all about the timing. But yeah, I basically kept doing that over and over, like 120 times each side. And then I was like, wow, I'm really sweating. Then I went into the shower, and then we had dinner, and then came back. And that was a lovely evening. And that for me itself, the whole day, when I think about it, there were definitely nice parts to the end of the day.
You make me tired just thinking about it.
How about you, Shazz? What is a recent highlight and something that you would say is good?
A recent highlight for me has been Netflix, believe it or not. There have been some very good shows that I like on Netflix that have appeared, and particularly anime stuff. Netflix have been very on the ball with anime, so I've been watching a lot of that on Netflix, which is fantastic. Just getting sucked into the anime world on there. So yeah, very very happy to just be able to pop the TV on and just watch whatever without needing to have translations and stuff like that. Japanese cartoons. So,
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just sometimes relaxing with a good show. Kathleen.
Well, I was told this week by one of my publishers that I could start talking about one of my games publicly. So it's a circular game board. It's modular. So you add different wedges to the circle to change the track. And it's called Grease Lightning. And it's basically like 1950s muscle cars meets ancient Greece. So I'm super, super excited. They actually came up with the theme and that whole Grease Lightning bit. And I love it. I love it. I'm so excited.
This is awesome. And can you say which publisher is bringing it out and when we might see it?
WizKids. And they want it to come out next year.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
I love a modular board.
Had a wee look at it.
It's really fun.
See this on your table. It looks super exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a fun game. There's all these different like god powers that can like some gods are nice and some gods are not so nice to you and everything. It was funny. There was one I had to take out because the goddess Hestia, like on the card, it says she's sitting by her fire. She likes you. And that was it. There was no positive, no negative. It was just like, she likes you. And they're like, no. like, either make it good, make it bad. Just not a no.
I like a neutral one in there. It's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I
it's
thought
like
it was
forfeit.
Yeah, so I think we ended up like saying like, and now draw another card or something like that, you know, so it's fine, but it made me laugh.
Okay, so Jason.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. What was that?
What's a recent highlight, something that you enjoyed that you could consider good potentially?
Well, a good thing that happened was after waiting since my birthday in May and having to order another one, get the money back for an old one, and not to play the same tune, my handpan arrived on Monday.
Yay!
Probably one of my most expensive instruments, but definitely been wanting one since something of this sound world since I was 13. So it's been worth the wait. And actually, the guys who did it were absolutely amazing. The customer service was fantastic. They informed me they had to change delivery company because of very different regulations, and they kept me informed of all the weird stuff that happened between them. And they actually, they saved this one because it's refurbished for me because that was my specified tuning. I said if I could get one of this tuning, it would be fantastic. If not, I'm happy with any, but I've got like one I'd really like. Typical, their furnace broke after making mine. So they had to fix their furnace after it. So I was very lucky to get it in time.
Wow.
So that's quite an impressive instrument. We've already had the pleasure of hearing that, and thank you for sharing that. And finally, Jess, what has been one of your recent highlights?
I think a recent highlight has been the fact that obviously we've had all of the winter where we've all been kept indoors, and then obviously the lockdown during the heat we were all kept indoors. And when they finally said that we were allowed out, I got on my brother's kayak, and even though we didn't go to the beach where it was crowded, we were able to still enjoy going out onto the sea. So we could do something that we really liked, but be absolutely, over 100 yards away from anybody else and still get the sun and get the exercise from it. And it was really, really lovely after a good few weeks at home not doing anything. So that would be a highlight for me, I'd say. It's it's a great thing to be able to do. It was good.
Awesome. So,
Quite like a scout.
and just to remind our guests that there is a little mute button if there's any noise on your side. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can mute yourself or unmute yourself. But let's crack on with our first game. And our first game is going to be Giftable, which is about inventing fantastical gifts for fictional people. After we introduce the character, invent a present, as it writes there, using one letter from each card. This is a game using the L deck, as I am now calling the Wibble++ deck. So it's going to be rebranded very soon. And I will soon be coming out with Categorical and a deck for Couple, which some people might have seen Miles live streaming recently, doing some lovely botanical stuff for that.
You're only really changing the name, so I have to fiddle with my referencing on my thesis. You're doing it on purpose, I swear.
So just for those who are unaware, Jason made a musical version of Phrasal and Fable and called them Musical. And so it's a musical improvisation game rather than a language-based improvisation game.
I based it off the old card deck, so my limitation was that the instructions or the score was printed on a card, the size that Wibble was. And I may have to change my referencing now, because it's now not called Wibble, it's called L. And as it's not officially published, I'm going to have to do L. Yeah. I've already had to fight with Oxford English Dictionary, changing from Oxford English Dictionary Online to Lexico on .org or something. I've just had to go through all my references to change that yesterday. It took me a good couple of hours.
So just to go over the thing, I will be the first judge for this game, and I will explain it to everyone else, and hopefully it'll all make sense. So I draw a card. I use one of these letters to inspire the name of a person. Let's say this is Iris. Now, Iris could be anyone. They could be any species. They could be any profession. So I need to use one of these cards to say something about Iris. And Iris is a ballerina. And now everyone thinks about two words. One word starting with one of these letters, N or Z, and one word starting with E or Y. So some sort of present for Iris. So you could say a young zebra. That's probably not a great present, but you could argue your case, explain why it is a good present.
We've had Stranger Things win.
Once you have thoughts of your presents, lift up your hand, let us know that you're ready. Does that make sense, everybody? In the meantime, whilst you're thinking about your answers, and feel free to play along in the comments, just ponder something, and I see we've got an answer from Kathleen, and once at least a couple of people have thoughts of something, then I might start calling upon people. So Iris has been a ballerina, went into, started their profession quite late. They only started when they were 10 years old, which, as people might know, is really old to start becoming a ballerina. And but Iris realized, okay, you did never let me go to ballet school, but I really want to be a ballerina. I'm going to work hard. And Iris worked hard, but now I'm not sure if they're loving it or if they're slightly disillusioned. We'll leave that for people to decide. So, whoops. And just to say, you need to unmute yourself when you're ready to. So, Jason, what is your present for the ballerina?
Never-ending never-ending energy. They're starting quite late. Not now, but certainly will be needing that in at least 4 decades' time. When she reaches 80. And ballet takes a lot of energy to to do all that balancing, staying on point with the music. I used to ballet as a kid, so it's just very tiring. So never ending energy is, and it doesn't have to be just for ballet. You can be doing plenty of other things with that energy.
I think you're being quite ambitious there with saying that they're going to wait until 80 before they need that energy. I think ballet people normally retire well before then.
No, I'm thinking of Iris. I mean, anyone named Iris is pretty strong-willed.
Well,
Something like this as I know.
not just that, but like the age of retirement is growing in age, right? So that makes sense to me. You know, there's a lot. You know, retirement age is getting a lot longer for a lot more different professions. So
by the time I get around to retirement age,
yeah, I think that makes.
By the time I get around to retirement age, I won't be retiring.
So, Kathleen, what is your present for Iris?
Well, inspired by the L deck and her profession as a ballerina, I got her new Ellerina shoes. Get it? Ellerina shoes? Because they go through those shoes like crazy, so I'm sure she would love them.
Okay, very nice.
I presume they're already shaped to Iris's feet. They're a special brand, being L.
Right. Well, they're a bit boxy.
They're a bit slamming. They're
a bit rectangular in shape. They're about this wide by this tall, really. L arena shoes.
And they've got 2 letters on each.
2 letters on each one, different patterns to make it fancy. Yes.
And Shazz, did you manage to come up with anything?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as cool, but I would say because she clearly Iris has got her favorite kind of dress that she would do her ballerina stuff in. So rather than having to buy a whole new one, I would just make amends and do by getting her a new zipper to fix the old one. And once you get comfy in a ballerina dress, you don't want to have to change that, right? So I would just get her an upgrade to what she's already got.
Okay. I like your slightly out of the box, but still very practical thinking. And finally, Jess, do you have something?
Well, I thought that when you're a ballerina, you're always trying to put on a good show, and you always want to look your best. You want to be confident. So I think I would get her some new eye makeup just to bring out all of the goodness of her face, and to give her the confidence that she needs to put on a good show.
So you've got the new eye makeup, which I think that's a good present for anyone who sometimes wears eye makeup. Mm-hmm. We've got the new zipper, which is a great present. I should point out, Shazz, ideally once you're meant to technically use 1 letter from here and 1 letter from the other card.
No.
But it's all good.
No problem.
First round.
But Kathleen, I like your pandering to the judge with the L Arena shoot, with the new L Arenas. But Jason, I think the never-ending energy, I think that is going to be the most, having this gift is going to be the thing that will really, sustain Iris.
I mean, I'll also buy another one for me.
And me. I need some of that.
Like this potion of never-ending energy.
We'll break the law of physics,
Now, Jason, you're the judge, so you come up with the name.
Nina.
Nina is an
office worker.
Nina, the office worker. So now everyone has to come up with a present with 2 words, ideally, using 1 of these letters to start off 1 word and 1 of these letters to start off the other word. And Jason can tell us a little bit about Nina whilst we ponder.
So Nina never thought she'd be sitting in the office. She actually took a fine arts degree at her local university. But as jobs are hard to come by, she's taken a temporary, i.e. lasting at least 7 years, temporary job in the office, actually working at the same university she went to, calling prospective students and calling all the students that left and all, to see whether you get like surveys. That person that phones you up at the end of the year and goes, would you like to answer some questions about your experience here at the university? 7 years she's been doing that, with the hope that she's got a few things in the local gallery, but nothing to pay her way that she can get rid of this office job. Outside of the office job, she actually enjoys a bit of LARPing. She goes out and she dresses up as she belongs to the faction of Fays. So she absolutely loves really getting into it. She's one of those people who reads the rules to the T, but quite frankly, it's irrelevant. It's all about that role play. It's all about that imagination. I think we've got one. Anyone else got anything? No? Okay, I'll carry on. So she's... But, of course, at the moment, during the pandemic, she's had to kind of give up some of her, her LARPing. There's a little bit online, but it's not the same. And being in the office, well, she's still having to call those students, which is very sad considering most students aren't really experiencing uni at the moment. So she's a bit down at the moment. So this is why we need to think of the best gift for her. Okay, we've got 3 out of 4. So let's go with, I think Jess was first.
So you say obviously that she may have been like temporary at first, but I think if she's been working in the job for 7 years, she deserves recognition for all of her hard work. So I think she needs a big, sparkly new desk, which can be much bigger. It can have multiple screens. It'll be more effective. She may get her work done quicker, which will give her more time to do other things. And I think everybody needs a new desk because it just makes you feel so much better. That's my gift.
So new desk, fantastic. So then you go to Catherine.
Well, I appreciate that she's trying to, buck up, trying to, see the best in everything, but secretly bitter tears. Bitter tears for the career that she wanted, for the success she's seeing other people have. And sometimes you just want someone who understands, like to be like, girl, I get it. Here's a little vial of bitter tears. And maybe she'll turn them into art, maybe incorporate them into paint. And then it turns into a whole new thing. And then she gets the recognition she deserves. And look who did it.
Okay, I see you slightly up pandering towards me. Do you know that I'm experimental? Okay, Shazz, you're next.
So once upon a time, I was an office worker, and one thing that I always forgot to bring with me was a brush, which is really important. Because not only can you after lunch go and use your bathroom toothbrush, but while Nina is LARPing, she could bring it with her onto the campsite and do things there. And I'm sure if she got really creative, she could use it in her art and brush, use and paint things on the brush. Hopefully not, before in the bathroom or anything like that. Yeah, multi-purpose gift.
Bez, did you have anything?
I'm thinking I would like to give Nina a tremendous break because they're stuck in this office job for 7 years. They're trying to break out, and what they just want, someone who's willing to maybe sponsor them to make some art. Someone who's willing to, help them get established with, maybe they could sell their arts in the LARP world. And I think that Nina could make it if only Nina were to get a tremendous break.
Okay, this is very difficult because, so we've got new desk from Jess. Kathy, it was bitter tears.
Very bitter.
Very bitter tears. Shaz was a toothbrush, which I can say does come useful when I go head to uni, I carry a toothbrush with me. It's very useful,
A
especially
bathroom
if you have
toothbrush.
bathroom toothbrush. Especially if you have the onion bhaji wrap. You kind of need, especially if you're then going to go join a choir afterwards. I've done that a couple of times. Bad thing to do. There's tremendous break. Okay, so afraid the toothbrush is a little bit too mundane. I do like the idea of a new desk, but this is a temporary. She's trying to make it temporary, and it's just not quite happening. Yeah, the new desk will lift the spirits, but eventually she'll realise that actually she's got to stay with this desk for the rest of her life now. I mean, I wouldn't want to give up a sparkling desk, so they have to fire me and I take it with me, or I'm staying there forever. I'm torn between the tremendous break and bitter tears. I very nearly didn't think, completely dismissed bitter tears until you turned it into something a little bit more experimental.
Right.
And yes, you do need something.
Art reflects what we see, and she put herself into it.
And I'm thinking, realistically, in the current climate we're in, a break is not going to be much different when you're at home and stuck at home. So maybe if this is a different time of the year, different current situation, then maybe Tremendous Break would win this round. But there's not much else you can do with Tremendous Break. You could just, although saying that.
No, I didn't mean a break as in a holiday. I meant a break as in, you're getting a break. Like you get someone who's willing to help you get established, a mentor.
Like catch a break.
Yeah.
Catch a break. That's different then. No, I think I'm going to go for the bitter tears. Everyone needs a good cry occasionally. It really does, ironically, lift the spirits.
Well, and that's the best thing, too, is as you're explaining, edging away from Tremendous Break, I like seeing Bez just break himself, realizing... I'm so sorry, Bez. I'm so sorry. Yes, break. Yeah, like losing herself and realizing that... So, thanks, Bez.
Okay, so now, Kathleen, if you can name the next person.
Oh. Jumpin'.
And what's... Jumpin'? And Jumpin' is a what?
Well, that's his nickname. Yeah, his nickname's... Right.
And now you need to say their profession or their species or something beginning with I or U.
Those are excellent letters. Thank you. Well, everyone knows that Jumpin' is an ice cream artiste. Jumpin' has this custom ice cream truck, goes to festivals, travels around, and the flavors that come out of that. No one would ever thought to put blueberry with grass. Jumpin' will do that. If you want to taste what summer feels like, what tastes like when you fall face first into a garden, Jumpin' will give that to you.
Oh.
Yes. Jumpin'.
I like the sound of this person. I mean, I can get behind this person. So everyone else, including me, is thinking of a gift, and you can join in the comments. Just write a gift, and one word needs to use a T or H. Another word needs to come up with an E or L. Ideally, a 2-word gift.
Yeah, and if you haven't picked up, weird tends to play well with me.
Good to know. Tell us more about Jumpin'.
I'm sorry?
Tell us more about Jumpin'.
Well, Jumpin' got into the ice cream business because, such an active child, just bouncing off the walls constantly, but would sit still only if this is not that great of a story. Sit still for ice cream? It's okay. It's okay.
You kind of like a jump around with ice cream. It does kind of fall off.
Yeah, it's super, super cold, so it just stays in there. In fact, you're likely to break your teeth on it as much as you are to enjoy it. So, yes. All right, so Shaz, what have you got?
I think jumping definitely needs a hot dog elephant. There is nothing more important for jumping because jumping's flavor. Jumping has a bunch of flavor inspirations that he needs. And clearly he's so busy jumping around from one idea to the next one. He needs something to ground him. So I don't know what it is, so I'm sure that there's something that they could do with it. And I think that they would it would also like keep them busy and keep them active as well, because they've got this massive big elephant to look after, you know, so it would maybe rein their energy in a little bit.
And when the elephant passes, that gives Jumpin' the opportunity for a whole new avenue of hot dog food trucks made from the elephant.
Absolutely.
You know, so expanding your market share.
Yep.
Go capitalism.
Depending on what a hot dog elephant is. You know?
Right. Okay, Ben.
So I think that Jumpin' likes to live life to the max. Jumpin' likes to, you know, gets a little bit crazy, likes to enjoy the highest highs and sometimes a low, understanding that when you've got something bright, you also get a shadow. That's the way that life is. But what Jumpin' really wants to do is to get something to inspire a new ice cream flavor, some emotions that they've never experienced before, namely euphoric terror. So it's a combination of euphoria and terror simultaneously that can inspire Jumpin' to make a new ice cream flavor.
Well, that is a heady cocktail. Yeah. Oh, I have a if it was a cocktail, what would you put into a cocktail named euphoric terror?
Ooh, it would have to be something sweet with like chili in it, like, but maybe the chili is you don't know because you've got what's that really powerful chili? Not
ghost peppers.
Yeah, so it might be a ghost pepper or it might just be a red chili. You're not sure.
Oh.
So like 9 out of 10 times it's just a normal chili, but 1 out of 10 times it's a ghost pepper. So you're like, oh my god! But then it's in the middle of this sweet. It's like got a bit of mead maybe in there. And a little bit of cherry liqueur mixed in, and then a chili.
Cherry liqueur, chili,
maybe some sugar
and a bit of chocolate with a drop of vodka. But 1 in 1,000 cherries is a ghost. 1 in 1,000 chilies is a ghost chili.
No, 1 in 10.
Yeah, 1 in 10. 1 in 10. I do like the inclusion of chocolate, though. So there we go. All right, Jess, your turn.
So it took me a while to come up with this, but I came up with an exquisite tower. Now this tower is it's like a piece of art. It's like a sculpture, and it's tall and it's got holes in it. And what it's for is the ice cream can all be put on cones, and they can all have different artwork, and they can all be slotted inside this tower, and the ice cream will be really high for everybody to see it, and then it can all be decorated, and then people can come and take their favorite designed ice cream.
Nice.
So that's the part of the art and the ice cream.
Right, especially since it's exquisite. You know, it's not just a tower. It's exquisite.
It's exquisite.
Exquisite. I'm going to use that word all day today.
Like, instead of taking the elevator, he could just jump up all the stairs. You know, just keep jumping all the way up.
Down.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I feel like I keep going dark on this one, but you know, it'll be an exquisite tombstone too. You know, after Jumpin's had too much ice cream, perhaps. You know. All right, Jason, take us home.
So technically, and this was decided before Shaz and Jess said it, that not only is Jumpin going to expand his business, it's also going to be, and you'll see why it's so like Jess. I've also accidentally used all the letters. So it's going to be a ludicrously extravagant, towering hotel chain. So taking the hot dog elephant, taking the ice cream, and each room, each area, each conference centre, it's themed to a different flavour of his unique ice cream flavours. So you've got grass, you've got spring days, you've got a nice crunchy autumn flavoured room, and I do mean flavoured. You could lick the wallpaper and it tastes like this ice cream. All sorts of. Yeah, and you don't have to stay with that same ice cream. You can change the same room up into different ice creams each day.
It's like Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, this is Willy Wonka level hotel, but everyone can access it. You know, not just a few people with the golden tickets.
Well, okay. So here's the deal, Jason. I am a Slytherin, currently struggling, obviously, with JK right now, but I am an ambitious girl.
Literally the same.
Mm-hmm. I am an ambitious girl, though, and I do like that you try to do everything and also assimilate everyone else's into yours. So you're a greedy monster, and I get that, and I appreciate that.
It's completely nice, I swear.
The exquisite tower, just the elegance of it, you know, the purity of the display, really showcasing that for which Jumpin' is known. Jess, that's quite good. Euphoric terror. I think Bez is an emotion that Jumpin' probably runs to, and I think that's also the fact that we came up with some pretty solid sounding cocktails out of it too. I'm definitely down.
I don't drink. It's amazing what I can think of. Touch the stuff.
You can always just throw it over your shoulder, and it looks just as cool, so it's good. The hot dog elephant, though, you know, especially with the potential to verge into a whole new avenue of hot dog artistry, especially, you know. But honestly, I think on this one, for someone named Jumpin', I'm gonna have to go with Euphoric Terror. Just that absolute infusion, you know, because all these things will keep Jumpin' going, but Euphoric Terror is what will fuel them into the future.
I'm so proud.
Mm-hmm.
So, our next round is
and I wrote it down just to make sure because these were so good. So yes.
Our next round is going to be about Winona. And Winona is a salamander.
What is that?
A salamander is a kind of
slimy lizard, like an amphibious lizard.
Oh.
Let me bring it up.
They like to live in caves.
Nice.
A lot of times they're wet little, like a frog in a lizard.
Everyone needs to come up with 2 words, one using one of these letters, one using one of these letters, to come up with a present for Winona, who is a salamander, as I'm about to show you. Salamander, Google search. Thank you, Google Images. So, Winona,
cute.
The salamander is. This is actually. Apparently that's only a fossil, but apparently there's all these different types of salamander, and maybe Winona's actually a Japanese giant salamander, and Winona's going around munching on things. I don't know what to eat, but they're having a good time, and I feel like we need to do some research into salamanders live on the show.
Welcome to Salamander Question Time.
Wikipedia. So, salamander is apparently a group of there we go, a group of amphibians, lizards-like, and what do they eat? They are opportunistic predators.
Aren't we all?
So the Japanese giant salamander, which is what Winona is, eats crabs, fish, small mammals, small amphibians, and aquatic insects. They just eat whatever they can. And they are going around life, enjoying a bit of the water, enjoying a bit of the sand, enjoying a bit of the sun, enjoying a bit of the concrete, because unfortunately now people are coming up with concrete, but Winona's like, yeah, that's the way it is. But yeah, so Winona the salamander. Okay, so Kathleen, what would you give Winona the salamander?
Well, they often live in, caves and rather wet, dark places. And, sometimes the salamander just gets a little cold. So I would get her some quite expensive trousers. Because, quite honestly, I've never seen a salamander to wear, what we call pants. Obviously, you say trousers. And I think that some snappy, well-tailored, lovely fabric, sumptuous, stylish trousers for a salamander is something that Winona would be delighted and surprised by.
Oh, that does sound charming.
Right?
How about you, Jason?
Well, it's all well and good living in just a cave and by the water and, keeping nice and... I know people are going to hate me saying the word, but it is a legit word, keeping nice and moist. However, something just doesn't happen with all the jagged rocks. It's a little bit uncomfortable. So just to allow them some room to be able to furnish and make better, I'm going to give them a quadrilateral living quarters. Just a room, basically, just so they can make it their own. Rather, it's not just a jagged cave all the thing. They've got a space, even if it's just off to the side of the cave. The cave's their main space that they host their barbecues. That doesn't really work in water, but their parties and stuff. But somewhere they can go that's smooth and nice and just relaxed.
That's a good word, quadrilateral living quarters. I mean, these are my vaguely, as I sit in my own vaguely quadrilateral living quarters, I appreciate the expression. Jess, did you come up with anything?
I did. So I thought that, most animals, or albeit amphibians, their pride is by their appearance. Like similar to lions, the bigger they are, the more powerful or the more attractive they are. So I thought sometimes it's good to have leaders in the world. So I think that all of these I've forgotten the name of it now. Salamanders. I know it was an S. Would like somebody to help lead their colony. So I think that they need a large queen, a big, beautiful queen who can help motivate them and help rule them, and there can be one big family and one big colony for everyone.
Makes sense. And finally, Shazz, what would you give Winona, the giant Japanese salamander?
Well, I had to really think about it, because I was like, what do you give, someone who likes to scavenge and things? But to be honest, when I saw the picture that you pulled up, I just thought it was really cute. Even if Rona is giant, I thought it was really cute. So I wanted Rona a tiny quad bike, just to ride around in. I just thought it'd be really cool. I've got no other reason other than that.
Wearing pants.
I just thought it'd be really cool.
And here at the bottom of the screen, again, thanks to Wikipedia, you can see this is actually a giant Japanese salamander. And so would a Japanese giant salamander want a quad bike? Or would they want to have a queen? Or would they want to have quadrilateral living quarters? Or... remind me what yours was, Kathleen. Sorry.
That's okay. Quite expensive trousers.
Oh yes, quite expensive trousers.
Quite expensive.
I mean,
I need to put myself into the mindset of the salamander. And I think that the salamander is going underwater too often for the trousers. I mean, I guess they could be rubber trousers or something, but I don't know. I guess the quad bike could be adapted to their hands, like their little finny things. I'm not sure how much the salamander is appreciative of a monarchy. I mean, I feel like this Japanese giant salamander wants to go around doing its own thing. And
a big beautiful queen could make him happy.
It could be a drag queen. It could be a drag queen salamander. You never know.
That's true.
I
think that if there were a tiny quad bike that were specially adapted to the salamander, I think that is what the salamander would choose.
Awesome.
So I'm giving it to Shazz for the tiny quad bike.
You see, I reckon. Thank you. I reckon like quad bikes are quite big, so if you made a small one, it would be small for a giant salamander, if that makes sense. Because you're narrowing, like the salamander's big, and the quad bike starts off big, but it gets smaller, and the salamander starts off smaller, you know, somewhere in the middle.
I mean,
thanks very much.
So if anyone out there watching likes to doodle, please can you draw me a drag queen salamander? Just where am I day?
Yes.
So Shazz, tell us the name of the next person.
Okay. Patricia.
And what?
So Patricia is a Patricia is I've got a couple of things in my mind.
Just go with.
Does it have to be an actual job?
No, it can be a vocation, it can be a species, it can just be a hobby, whatever.
Okay. Okay, so Patricia is a secretary. We'll just go with something simple just now.
Okay. And Patricia is a secretary. So now, whilst we all think of presents for Patricia, Shazz, tell us a little bit more about them.
So Patricia, the secretary, is actually very, very well regarded in her office. She's a consummate professional, but unfortunately, her boss doesn't really appreciate her. And that makes for quite an interesting dynamic because, as we may know, secretaries hold quite a lot of power in the office. You know, they know everyone, they know who goes in, they know who goes out. They've got all the gossip on people. But she is a professional. I want to state that. So, you know, maybe she uses the knowledge she has to sway people her way. But essentially, in her part-time, sort of in her spare time, when she's not being a consummate office professional, she tango. She's a bit of a dancer. And she does so in an evening class. She's not being a consummate office professional with all power that she wields in her office, where she's not very well appreciated by her boss, but respected by her co-workers. I'll keep going to give more time. Patricia is, let's say Patricia is single. And she likes to go dancing to kind of try and attract maybe another half, but she hasn't found the right one yet. Yeah. So I think the first person with their hand up might have been Bez, I think.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone watching plays Magic the Gathering. I know Shaz is very familiar with this. And so Chandra in Magic the Gathering has hair that's basically literally fire. So Chandra's hair is literally fire. So imagine if you could get this fabric woven and have a Chandra-like tutu. So for when they go out dancing, they've got a tutu that they can somehow put on, but
right.
It is literally fire. Once you put it on, you press the little button, and then you're dancing away, but it's literally fire coming out of you. I think that would get everybody's respect. And I think it would show that boss who is the real boss in the workplace. if they saw Patricia on the dance floor with this Chandra-like tutu.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Very nice. Very nice. Kathleen, I think you were next with your hand up.
Right. So I would give her, a couple maybe. Oh, hello. I would give her tango cassettes.
Ooh.
So just not CDs, not streaming services. I mean, certainly not 8-tracks, but tango cassettes in which for her to play her tango music quietly at her desk when her boss is away on her little desktop old school tape recorder, because Patricia's not necessarily a young spring chicken, so I would give her rare, hard to find tango cassettes.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. Next is Jason.
So, I feel like she's maybe not quite getting the respect she needs at the work, all the hard work she puts in. So, I'm going to give her a character ovation. So, hosting a party, none of this party where you rip on the other person and you take the mick out of them. This is not about character assassination. This is character ovation. So this whole party dedicated to saying how amazing she is. So her boss, who finally recognised her for her worth. Who finally recognised for her worth. Big party, character ovation party.
Good. Sounds good. I like it. And finally, Jess.
So mine is actually really similar to Kathleen's. Mine was confidence to tango. So when you're on the dance floor, tango is like one of those dances which is really, really challenging. So I feel that if she had the confidence to tango, she could tango, she would have fun, she would be able to attract the partners that she's looking for, hopefully have other people that might like to tango. And I think if anyone's got just confidence in general back at her role, she'll be able to, influence and hopefully gain more respect out of her peers and out of her boss, and just get the extra energy and love and affection from being able to tango everywhere.
Yeah. No, I like all four of these, because I reckon that she would like all of these, in truth. I really like the Chandra sort of fire dress. I think that's really cool. Bez's suggestion. It reminds me also of the Hunger Games. The dress that she wears in that. And it's kind of, fire goes there and she walks on stage and shows off. So I think she would really appreciate that. She's quite a flamboyant person. So I think you picked up on that. Kathleen, I love the classy style of the tango cassette. I love how, the sort of, you also added to her character there by saying she's not necessarily a younger lady, which I thought was really cool. That was really thoughtful. You added an extra layer to her. Jason, also, I think it's just really classy. I've got reminiscent sort of black and white, she's tangoing away with one of those kind of black and white movies. Jason, I really like the character ovation because, she is really... you picked up that she wants respect. And clearly that would be a great gift for her. So I think your gift speaks to her needs. And Jess, I really like yours because, again, it kind of pushes her character a little, because it gives her just up to the boss who doesn't appreciate her and just starts tangoing away in the middle of the off. So just imagine her, just going off, taking all these steps and, back and forward and showing everyone off and everyone else cheering her, so you put that image in my head, and for that I like that one the most. So I'm going to give this one to Jess, because I think it sort of suggests that she gets a happy ending.
Yeah, it's all about the confidence at the end of the day, isn't it?
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Definitely.
So, I think we're going to have a stop there, and that means that I've got 1 point, Shazz has 1 point, Kathleen has 1 point, Jason has 1 point. And Jess has 2 points.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I didn't think mine was as good as some of yours. They were lovely.
Well, it's been lovely having you. And sorry, I'm going to share the link in the comments for anyone who's watching, whether it's just now or after the fact.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was lovely having you, and before you head off, can I ask you, what is something you're looking forward to?
Something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing my best friend tomorrow for the first time in 3 months. She's been shielding for quite a while, and we've all been really safe. And we're going to go into her garden. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I've not seen her for a very long time, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow.
Make sure to put the sunblock on.
Yes, I'm just recovering from really bad sunburn. I absolutely lobstered myself about 4 days ago when we had one of the hottest days of the year. And obviously, it wasn't even on the beach. I was just sat in the garden, thought I was in the shade. The sun moved and I didn't move with it. And that was me all nice and crispy just the day before work. But I'm feeling much better now.
Our gingers tend to burn even in the winter. I remember getting a tan one winter. Like this is bizarre.
Yeah, we get tanned when we go burnt, and then it sort of slowly fades away. So we're tanned for about a week.
It's the most colour we ever have in our cheeks.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been really wonderful.
Very well.
Well, it's been lovely having you, and adios, and hope to see you again in the not too distant future.
Will do. It was lovely. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we've got Kathleen, who I believe also unfortunately has to go.
Yeah.
And what is something that you are looking forward to?
This is, it's been really tough. Just dealing with the virus and then everything else that's been happening. There's been a lot of turmoil in the United States, and it's been really tough. But the one thing is like, personally, I've done I think a pretty good job of trying to take better care of my mental health. And so I'm just looking forward to playing a lot more games than I have been, and, playing with games online, playing with my friends here in real life, and feeling more like myself, honestly. So, I mean, there's other things happening, but I'm really looking forward to just continuing to feel in a good place and be in a good place. And I did make cute little, when it was time to hold up names. So I made that one for Jason. And then, that's for me. And let's see, Shazz, I gave you lightning. And then poor Jess, she took off.
Oh, excellent!
With his little jet. And of course, thank you, Beth.
Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. So it's been so long, weeks since I've seen you, which is far too long. So hopefully we can game again soon. So, and we're also playing online, although I'm slow.
Yeah. I
did win.
The whole notion of Board Game Arena, I played these turn-based things, and it's just kind of drop in when you can.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing about it's a turn-based thing. You can play something like Can't Stop, which is meant to be a quick, 10-minute game. But
I did win in 3 turns. I just want to make sure everybody understands. 3 turns for Can't Stop. Where was that confidence we were talking about for Patricia? Where was that?
You're not worthy.
Icarus flew and burned up, flying too close to the sun. I get it. I understand what I'm doing here. So anyway, thank you guys so much. It was so fun.
It's been lovely having you.
All
Bye
right.
for now.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, so going to go to there, and now we're going to have a quick recap of competition time. This is a song for competition time. So there's a few folk watching, and all you have to do to enter the competition is just write a wee comment telling us what is a good thing, what is a thing that you are having fun with, and explain why it's good. You make sure to use the words good, in your comment to automatically enter the competition. You could win either In a Bind Junior or a quick sketch. And that is competition time. Now we're going to go with, so there's 3 of us. We will try this for a wee bit. The box does say 3 to 8. That's what the box says. So we are playing Say Anything, which is a game by North Star Games, who previously made Wits and Wagers. This is kind of like that, but where you are betting on who you think is correct. But instead of betting on who you think made the correct guess of how many steps there are in the Empire State Building, now you're betting on who the judge will pick as the funniest answer. So basically, say anything. Someone reads a question. Everyone else, including you in the comments, potentially can give an answer, get points for being the judge's favorite answer, or get points for agreeing with the judge. That's it. As simple as that. So, just to give due credit, this is by Dominic Crapuchettes and Satish Pillalamarri, and they work together, and they are the OG North Star Games people, and it has won some awards. So, firstly, colours. What colour would people like?
I'll let guests choose.
What are the options?
Oh, sorry. You've got either yellow, which is the martini glass, green, which is apparently all about money, purple, which is apparently all about fashion and shoes, orange, computers, blue, I don't know, cars. Brown is kind of an American.
Let's go blue. Taylor's blue.
Okay. Shazz is blue.
Got to stay on brand, you know.
And Jason.
I'm probably going to go with grey. Because it matches my ensemble. That's all.
And I will go for red. So that's our names in the scoreboard. And we are going to play the game slightly differently to usual. We're house rolling it a little bit. We're just going to play it for half an hour, and then whoever's got the most points at that time will be the winner. I'm just going to use this to track the points rather than writing the numbers and playing for a set number of rounds, as is usually the case. Also, when it's our turn, normally in the game, you're allowed to vote on 2 other cards. In this version, you're only allowed to vote on 1, which is either going to be yourself or another player. And this, again, if anyone in the comments wants to join in, just let us know what colour you want to be, and I will add you to the score sheet. So, the first question is going to be, what would make work more fun? What would make work more fun? You can either write it down or you can ponder it, hold your hand up when you're ready. If you're in the comments, just type it out. What would make work more fun? Okay, so what would make work more fun? And people are going to write their answers, after which we will have a little... as the judge, will choose who my favourite is, and then we will see if everyone agrees or not. So, what would make work more fun? Do you have an idea there, Shazz?
Yep. So I went for, I don't know if you can see this, my handwriting, water slides.
Damn it!
Yeah, I think they just make everything more fun, frankly. But
Nice.
definitely at work.
Okay, it's a good shout. Jason, what do you have? What
Okay,
do you
so
think would...
I'm going a bit more sane here, because water slides are fantastic. However, I would feel in suits or whatever, there's a lot of changing involved, lots of time. So I'm going to go for a daily biscuit theme. So each day they feature a new biscuit. This doesn't just include British biscuits and their synonyms from around the world, and people can so not just bourbons and custard cream, because normally you just end up having like hobnobs and digest. I love a good hobnob, but I would like to occasionally have a pink panther, or maybe something more unusual that I can't even think of because I've never seen it. So it's
like savoury biscuits maybe, or something like that.
Savoury biscuits, but also you've got to make sure they're gluten free and vegan. Or there's a vegan option or variation, so it could be two themed. Or even it doesn't have to be a biscuit itself theme. The theme could be chocolate. The theme could be film and TV biscuits. So for me, that would be a custard cream or jammy dodger, both featured on Doctor Who. So it doesn't have to be a biscuit theme. It could be a biscuit theme. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hinder the work, but it's there.
So now, Shah, I'm not going to comment. I've decided who my favourites is. Now, Shaz and Jason, you have to decide who your favourites is. You will get 1 point if you have written my favourite answer. You'll also get 1 point if you agree with me. And as the judge, I will get 1 point for each person who agrees with me as well. So in a way, it's quite a nice mechanism. It keeps me honest as the judge, and because I want to be like, yeah, that's clearly the better answer. I want to pick it. And you're incentivized to go along with what you think I would pick because you get the points. Now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Have you got it written down, Shaz?
Sorry, 1 sec.
So if you have...
Okay, got it.
Okay, now ready to reveal. 3, 2, 1, and reveal.
I went with water slides again.
Okay, so the correct answer was, obviously, Shaz.
Yay!
So what this means is that Jason gets a point because Jason correctly said that I would pick Shaz. Shaz gets a point for correctly guessing that I would pick you, and a point for actually supplying the answer, and I get 2 points because 2 people went along with me. So that is the scores on the doors.
Scores on doors.
Now, Shaz. I would suggest you pick one of these answers if I make myself a little bit bigger.
Okay, just down a wee bit. Yep, you're good. So, okay, let's go for it.
Which question are you asking?
What would you consider my most... what would I consider my most valuable possession?
Okay. What would Shaz consider their most valuable possession? So we're all thinking of an answer for this.
I'm not writing it down.
Okay, I've got an answer.
Okay, so we'll start with Jason.
Your creativity.
Ooh.
You wouldn't be able to do your job without it. You won't have an interest in life without it.
I'm trying to keep my poker face up, so yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I went for Settlers because I think that Settlers, the shop itself, the physical space, but also the community. I know it's weird to think of community as a possession, but this is something that you've built up, and I think that if something can be called a possession, if nothing else, it would be the shop. If you can't call the community a possession, let's go with the shop, just the shop. I think that would be your most valuable possession.
Poker face.
Okay, so now Shaz, you have to write down the name of the person that you think supplied your favourite answer.
That's really tricky, actually. That's both good answers.
I mean, yeah, you've got to be creative to think of themes and layouts and events, and you've got to know creativity as well, because otherwise you would probably pick, if you had no creativity, you'd pick pretty poor games for the shop.
But if you didn't have settlers, you wouldn't have a shop to sell those games in, and you wouldn't have a place for people to meet.
If you have creativity, you probably wouldn't have had the shop in the first place. If we're going to play this game, Bez.
Have you made your choice, Shaz?
I'll say nothing. I have made my choice.
You have made your choice. Okay. I know who I'm banking on. By the way, Shaz, I noticed it was getting darker and darker in your bits, and I thought maybe
I'm going to go turn a light on. Yeah, thanks for mentioning. Yeah. I'll do it just after this round.
Okay. So, I'm 3, 2, 1, Jason, and I reveal.
Oh,
we're both voting on ourselves, and 2 is correct.
Now, just for records, this was more of a meta answer. I chose this because I thought maybe Jason would go, oh yeah, he's totally going to choose the shop. So that's why I chose that. It was more of like a guessing game answer.
I see.
In actual fact, my most prized possession is really tricky. I wouldn't consider her a possession, but I love my dog. But prized possession is tricky because I don't really have many, which is why, like, deliberately, I sold a lot of mine off. So I was wondering what you folks would have said, which is why I answered the question. I was like, oh, I wonder what they're going to say. But settlers make sense. Creativity makes sense. Yeah, that was a tricky one. I'll go turn the light on. Bear with me one sec.
Okay, so the score's on the doors. I'm sneaking ahead, and Jason's still on 1.
It's rigged. It's rigged, I swear.
Jason, it's your opportunity to claw back some points. And
So we've got.
which newspaper headline would you most like to see, or who's the world's biggest idiot?
I think, as it's 3 of us and it's 9:30, I'm going to say, who's the world's biggest idiot?
Bess, what happens if we choose the same thing?
Okay, so the rules are that officially that's why we're meant to write it and share it publicly.
Okay.
So if it just becomes the first person to write it down. In this case, it's going to be the first person to shout it out. Because you weren't aware of this rule, I'll let you shout out who you think it is right now.
Okay. On a world stage, it's Donald Trump. It's got to be Donald Trump. I mean, it's got to be Donald Trump, right? Really? You know?
I'm going with... I would have said that, but... You know, in future, we're going to go with the shout out to your answer. That probably better simulates the speed of writing it down.
Sure.
And then the judge decides whether they are too similar. But now that Donald Trump's gone away, which would have been my choice as well, I'm going with Boris Johnson.
Oh, I knew you would.
Yeah, he was my second.
Oh my word, that's a difficult choice. Oh my word, how do I choose between...
So now it's down to Jason to choose who they think is the world's biggest idiot. Whether it's Donald Trump or Boris Johnson.
I've got my answer.
Okay, I'm ready to reveal who I think Jason chose. Are you ready to reveal who you think Jason chose, Shaz? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hang on. There we go.
Yep. And 2 was correct, Jason.
Well, it was very, very close call. I mean, they're both not very bright, that's for sure. And they both have made some very dangerous decisions, in my opinion. I just want to say this is not necessarily the opinion of the show. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I share this opinion, I'm just going to say.
Fair enough. Okay, that's your call, not mine. It's your call to make, not mine. So,
It's
but
not
like,
the show's opinion. It's not the show's opinion. Everyone on the show agrees.
But I would have to say, based on probably IQ alone, which is slightly ableist of me, but I'm looking at their actions. I'm looking at their impact that they have. I am going to go with Shazz's answer.
Yay!
Nice.
Because I have a feeling that Boris knows a little bit more than he's given away compared to Trump. I mean, out of those two...
Yeah. I'll try not to get too political, but yeah.
I'm not
Basically, yeah.
Of course you do it political.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that was crazy how quickly we both came to that answer.
I mean, someone who advises people to drink some sorts of... It was some brand of bleach type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. In my opinion, what would I do first if I won £100,000? Let's just say, I mean, I don't want to enter the National Lottery, but let's say I was going along and then I saw this bit of paper that was for the National Lottery, and then for some reason I thought, okay, rather than make the obvious realization that, hey, it's probably just rubbish, I go off and try to cash it in, see what comes of it, and suddenly win £100,000. What's the first thing I do? But Jason, yeah, just shout it out, Jason.
You would buy your house in a new country. I'm not going to say because of that, maybe. You'd spend that money on that investment. I generally, because I can't remember what country that is. That's why I'm saying new country, because I've forgotten. My brain's a bit mushy.
Maybe South Korea?
Maybe South Korea. Yeah, you buy a house in South Korea.
Create a new country.
£100,000? I mean, you can't really make a very good country for £100,000. I feel like you'd need a few billion to kind of get a proper economy going.
I mean, I think someone claimed an oil rig as their own country or something, and it's just, that's still more than 100,000. I think it may be just one of those internet myths.
No, I think they basically came out and then they claimed it, so it's kind of like I'm taking ownership of this kind of squatting type situation.
Right.
But
it's my oil rig now.
Yeah, that's a interesting answer. Poker face. What's your answer, Shazz?
I think you would create your own convention. I think you would start up something that you could showcase your games with. I think that's more of your thing, given the show, given that you create your own games already. I think it would be an interesting thing that you might do.
So from Jason, we've got buy a house in a foreign country, possibly South Korea. And from Shazz,
either north or south, anyone.
I mean, it's clearly going to be south. If that was,
well, you know.
Let's and then Shaz said to make a convention. So I know which one I believe is my choice. So Jason and Shaz, who do you think made a stronger case, stronger proposition? 3, 2, 1, reveal.
It was me.
It's me.
Ooh.
Are you voting for yourself? Oh.
Yeah,
well,
was that?
I think even though I would like the kind of to make a convention that loads of people would attend, I think that it's going to be a bit slow, kind of getting to that point. And right now, I'm in a position where, I'm still building up a fan base. Do you know what I mean?
I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of that.
I mean,
So,
I see. I thought you meant like the whole COVID thing, right?
It's a little bit unfair though, because I have insider knowledge.
and I am planning to go to South Korea, and if I were able to afford a house there for £100,000, that would certainly make it a lot simpler to play out. So, yeah, that's why I would absolutely buy.
That's awesome.
So there you go. So Jason gets 2 points, I get 1 point, and Shaz gets nothing, which means that now it's neck and neck with Shaz and Jason on 5 points, and I'm just pipping with 6.
Ooh.
So
Spicy.
Go for another round, and Shaz, you get I would advise one of the lower two, but if you don't like either of them, I can bring it down.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Oh, there's a theme.
Okay. What's the most romantic place for a honeymoon?
Okay, so that's our question. What is the most romantic?
Okay, go for it, Jason.
So you would go to a special honeymoon lodge in the middle of the forest. A nice little lake nearby. Probably woods actually, if there's a lake. But in the middle of woods, so with a nice lake with some swans. Avoid the geese. With experience, avoid Canadian geese if you can. Our lodge was pecked at by geese when my husband and I went on our honeymoon.
Serious.
Although I did have to have someone chase a swan out of the place, but generally speaking, it was lovely. The swan had less problem than the geese. The geese just were fed by the last people. So you wouldn't have that problem in the wild.
Right.
But yeah, in a nice little place. You're far away from people, so you can either be very quiet, read books, go for nice little walks. You're away from everyone, so you don't have to worry about bumping into people at the moment. And yeah, also, space is a very good noise canceller.
Sure. You mentioned that you went on a honeymoon in a lodge. Is that
Not
similar
quite.
to your kind of locale?
No, we went to Centre Parks. It's a lovely place, lovely little villa.
Yes, I've been there.
But we did have swan because they're a very different environment. The swans and geese obviously are used to people, so they're very confident. And obviously the geese were fed by the last people, which you're not supposed to do, and it was just pecking around our window for food. Whereas, I mean, I'll tell the story of the swan while Bess is thinking. So. Michael was in the kitchen making some probably I think he was making himself a coffee. I just got out of the bath, out of the bathroom, and I walk out of the bedroom. I look, there's a swan in the living room, which is just by the kitchen. It's like it's got that little breakfast bar. Michael had his back turned.
Yeah.
I just say swan and close the door. Not the best thing to do to your husband after you've only been married a day. But I was like swan and I shut the door. Michael ran into the corridor because you can't harm swans. You don't want to harm them anyway, but they belong to the Queen, so I had to phone the Centre Parks people and go, can you help us get a swan out of the lodge? They're lovely view, but But that's just because they're so used to it. They're so much more confident. Yet when I go to Guernsey, they don't care. They're not bothering anyone. So it does depend on the environment. But yeah, it does make for an interesting. There was no harm. Very interesting honeymoon. Nice story to tell as well.
Cool. Next.
I'll suggest Avignon.
Where?
So I don't know if you know the song. Sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse, sur le pont Avignon, on y danse, tous en rond. So it's a small French village and
Okay.
there's a lovely bridge. There's a bit of a forest. There's a bit of a park there, and I had the luxury of going in February actually, and after I was in Cannes, and I was feeling actually really good, and I splashed out quite a bit. So I was like, oh my god, I'm about to get my second big name mass market game signed up, which hasn't happened yet because of they weren't able to test it with kids sufficiently before everything was locked down. But I still think that both the people I showed it to did really like this game that I'm not going to get into because
that's
anyway, so
fine.
I went to Avignon, and then you get some amazing restaurants. I went to one restaurant where I really splashed out, and I got, I think it was like a 5-course truffle menu. So everything was truffles, and you can feel like, okay, we're really celebrating the start of our marriage together. We are making a big show, but also you can go to the supermarket, buy some things for not too much. If it's off season, it's not too pricey. And because it's France, I was able to go get some, like, in the supermarket, some stuff that was like all knocked down by 40%. And I got some duck and some like other sorts of frozen seafood that was gorgeous. Just popped it in the oven of where I was, went out onto the balcony and saw the setting sun, and going down over the rooftops. It was beautiful.
So lovely.
They both sound really nice. This is going to be tricky. No, that sounds really nice.
Holidays.
And it's got a song about it. Wow, that's crazy.
I'm sure Centre Parks has a jingle somewhere.
And also, by the bridge of Avignon, it tells you the history of the song and about the bridge and everything. So, yeah.
I'll need to go look it up. I've never heard that. I need to listen to that.
Well,
they're very different holidays, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, they both sound lovely. I'm still trying to hold my poker face up. So if you're ready with your answers.
And just so people know, this is what the Saint-Bézinet Bridge, as it's actually called, the Pont d'Avignon. So it kind of collapsed several hundred years ago, but you can sort of go out up until this point.
No, they do sound nice.
Oh, I don't know.
My answer.
Okay.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Ooh,
Which one
reversal.
is it, Shazz?
Well,
Neither
I
of us
actually chose because I like the quiet. Jason.
I should have been confident with myself.
I like the sound of just no one around. That sounded really awesome. Just completely getting away from it all. That sounded really nice. Avignon sounds beautiful, but yeah, the peace and quiet, like, I couldn't put a price on that. So for me.
Yeah, I have to say, this is why I picked Centre Parks. My husband, although he does like going to the spa, spa literally nearly killed me because of all the heat, low blood pressure. Not a good idea. But the
oh right, okay, wow.
He likes doing things and going and doing activities. I'm quite happy reading a book. So it's a nice balance, Centre Parks.
So now, Jason.
This stream is sponsored by Centre Parks. No, it's not.
What's the question that we're going to have next?
Who would the most interesting person to take a class from? Who would be the most interesting person to take a class from? Oh, Bez has disappeared. Ooh.
I clicked the wrong button.
Who would I play?
Okay, I think I've got one.
Interesting.
Hi, Daz. Lovely to see you there.
Hi, Daz.
So this is tricky because I'm not great with celebrities, but I would choose Oprah Winfrey because she has led a very varied life completely. Her public image now is very different to what who she's been. She's lost a tremendous amount of weight, which you might know. She's done lots of things with her career, but also she had a very, very tough upbringing and abusive upbringing, where I think that she could anything. If there's any one person who could teach any one person one thing, I think Oprah Winfrey has experienced so much of life that I think that she could teach just about anyone something. So for reason I think you or anyone else would benefit from having a seminar with her at the lead.
Hi, Paul. I'm going to say that if we're allowing dead people, like if we're going by the rule of people are allowed to be resurrected,
I think we're going to allow dead people.
I'm going to go with Tchaikovsky, just because I think they would be incredibly emotive when talking about their songs and about their compositions. And I think also that would be a style of learning that Jason would be especially interested in.
Okay, those are very, very interesting because they're not, I will be honest, and flat here, they're not the two top choices that I would have picked. So it's very interesting the direction you went there, both of you. So I think
this is quite a tricky topic because you rely on your own experience,
I've got
of people that you respect. Yeah.
And so now
Okay.
So Jason, have you made a choice as to who you would
choice.
prefer to go with?
This is how I show. I've got continuity for weeks. I've already written down everyone's name. Shazz, you've now entered everyone else's name.
Okay, so Shazz and I reveal in 3, 2, 1, reveal.
The music theme was what picked for me.
Oh, I've just dropped my answer. I can guarantee it's on the floor. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's okay. We trust you. We trust you.
Yeah, I've lost it. Okay. No.
So, this is the final round of Say Anything.
Right.
And
I've just dropped it. It is Shazz.
Whoa!
And I'll tell you
I didn't
why.
think I was going to get that
It's
one.
not because both of them. I mean, Tchaikovsky is a little bit too tonal for me. Much I'd love to meet Tchaikovsky, especially with their personal history as well. I think Shazz. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of reality TV, but actually talking to someone with such a varied career, some that I don't necessarily like, and some that I actually really appreciative of, and someone with a difficult, very challenging and abusive past, which actually resonates quite closely to me. I've got quite a troubling childhood, troubling, not well, it is troubling, but troubled, should I say? So that would be nice to talk to. Also, good connection to have. If you know Oprah, you know everyone else.
Right?
No
yeah.
matter how niche they are, you know everyone else. I'm sure she knows some really obscure experimental music production company that no one knows she would even listen to or know. But of course, this is like the sixth.
Or if you want to get books published,
Bacon.
and you want to sell books,
you
want to sell books, Oprah is absolutely the person to talk to.
I would not like to meet Rasputin. No. No.
So that's the end of the
yeah,
game.
right. Look at the men.
And Jason got some point spots. It's Shazz and Bez with Jason just behind. That is the final analysis.
Oh no way! Cool.
And
wow.
I I'm going to give the tie break to Shazz as the special guest.
Well, can I just add that Rasputin? That this may actually stir some things up. Now, before I say the name of the person I'd like to meet in the theme of Rasputin, I absolutely wholeheartedly disagree with everything this person has done. Well, most art was okay, average, very average, but everything, ideology, horrible person.
I think I know who you're going to say.
But I would be interesting to have a conversation with Adolf Hitler. He would be an interesting person to talk to.
Yeah, you get some different perspectives.
Disagree. Not necessarily to change perspective or anything. I just think he would be an interesting historical figure to talk to. Rasputin, I'm too terrified of. I could probably.
Do you think that you would survive?
I won't.
Do you think you would survive an encounter with Adolf Hitler?
No, because I'm British, I'm disabled, and I'm gay and non-binary. I'm dead.
Right. Right.
But
yeah,
I mean, I'd also like to meet Genghis Khan for some strange reason. I do have a fascination with the villains, and I'm not saying villains like that, but I'm because villains is Hitler was a villain. I'm always fascinated by that side of the human nature. It's just But Rasputin, no, I don't want to be in the same room. He is. You just don't want to. No, he's terrifying as an individual, regardless of everything else.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Now,
yeah.
to bring us out, we're going to give you the opportunity, if you've just tuned in, for competition time. Competition time. This is the song for competition time. Competition time. So basically, with this competition, you can either win a bit of Innerbind Junior, a game of Innerbind Junior, which is no longer available, or you can win a bespoke sketch. It's just going to be a quick 10-minute sketch, but I will actually send it over to you. Literally anything that you ask for. Although, if you ask me to draw something really complicated or boring, well, I'm only spending 10 minutes on it. So that's the deal. So, if you ask me to do something interesting, I'll probably do a better job of it. Now, for the competition time, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, with the banner rolling across, you need to say, what is a good thing? Just literally anything that you've enjoyed recently, something nice that you've eaten, something you're looking forward to, something that you like about your own body, or that you've... a good game. It could be literally anything, just because sometimes it's nice to be reminded of the positive things in the world. Tell us why it's good. It might be, yeah, I enjoyed hula hooping because it was fun and made me sweat and was good exercise and was a bit of an achievement. I mean, you don't need to say all of that. You could just say, I like hula hooping because it was fun. Or I like, I was trying to think of a game. The first thing I thought of was Yogi. I don't want to make it just about my own stuff, but I like Yogi because it makes me laugh. Or I like Subterra because I like to be afraid, whatever it is. Or I like Shazz because Shazz is a wonderful person. Shazz living is a good thing.
Good nice.
I mean,
so
I like the word good because good is a good description of good.
It's 4 letters. It's concise.
For sure. I mean, and
good
it
is
has
at its job.
Actual sorts of... There's some sorts of philosophical questions that arise with the notion of good. I mean, what is good? What is bad? Are we just talking subjectivity? Like, are we... And you've got to use the word good in your comment, by the way, Daz. You've got to use the word good in your comment. But Daz does say, I've taught my students at school guitar and keyboard during lockdown. That sounds pretty awesome. And Shazz is pretty awesome. We've got some love for you. And hello,
thank you.
It's Bassa. I discovered solo storytelling RPGs. I had no idea it was a genre. I like how they're closer to writing exercises, but more structured and focused. That sounds like a lovely thing.
Too little, too late, Daz. Too little, too late.
Remember, Daz, if you want to join the competition, you just need to use the words good.
That would be what kind of I probably pronounced the name wrong. What kind of RPGs have you found? Because I'd like to discover some single player RPGs because I really enjoy fighting fantasy novels. That's not sort of RPG-ish.
Okay.
But I tend to. I mean, I'm still trying to defeat Firetop Mountain. I've been stuck in a loop for months. I just keep restarting. I still get stuck in the same loop. I tried drawing a map. It just didn't work. So, but I still enjoy them. So I like I like that I can take it on holiday with me. So.
I mean, I think that's...
It's not quite an RPG, but... Sorry, it's not quite an RPG, but you might like Escape the Dark Castle, Jason. Just it's got a very sort of 80s fighting fantasy book theme going on, and the combat's really quite simple, kind of like the fighting book as well. So you might like that.
I'm just popping it in my.
And Asa Bassa says, "Watch the Shut Up and Sit Down review of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire." And
I shall.
I think that, I mean, this is just a hypothesis. At what point does a hypothesis become a theory? I'm not sure. But
Well,
anyway,
I actually touched this in my methodology chapter 2 of my thesis.
can you explain this in less than 30 seconds, Jason?
Okay, so hypothesis is the original idea or concept or question that you have. A theory is based on more evidence, and the experiment can prove the theory and either prove or disprove the hypothesis.
So do you have to have done the experiments in order for it to be a theory?
Not necessary, but it does to prove or disprove the theory. So it's basically, for example, my hypothesis is that being part of an online streaming is good for my emotional well-being. So my theory would be around why that would be. I'll be looking at all the factors in that, and then I would actually go and do the research. That's a non-scientific way of doing it. I'm in the arts, so it's a little slightly different, but it's very similar.
I was going to say, obviously you've got Microscope, which is an RPG for communal world building. And I was going to say, any RPG I'm going to call it a theory, is that any RPG where you've got people working together to create a narrative rather than embodying different parts of that narrative, they're working on the same thing, that might be more conducive to solo play as well. Like something like Microscope could work. But Azabasa has, as well as 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, mentioned Alone Among the Stars and Magizoology.
I'm going to be screenshotting these.
Yeah, these are new to me, so I'll need to check these out. Thanks very much for that. That's really helpful.
So, before we decide the competition winner, so for the many people watching, there is still time to enter the competition. Just tell us something that's good, and be sure to use the words good in your comment. We are going to, before that, finish up with something we're looking forward to. So, Shazz, do you have something that you are...
Yeah, sure. I am looking forward to, one, working on my fantabulous new website, but two, most of all, I'm really looking forward to opening my shop back up again. Here in Scotland, we have different phases where different sort of businesses are allowed to open up. And so we're in phase 2 in Scotland. So what that means is retail can open up. Cafe is a bit of a stretch. Hairdressers are a no-no. Organized play and running big events is a no-no. But I can at least open up the retail side of my business. And I'm really, really excited just to talk to people again face-to-face. You know, I keep in touch with them online, but it's not the same. So I'm really keen to just talk to people, see how people are doing, catch up with them, and you know, get on with things, get on with my job. You know, I do it for a reason. You know, so I I'm just really keen to get back to work. So I'm actually going to be announcing that on the Settlers Facebook page and everywhere else that will be opening up very, very soon. So
Awesome.
that will be tonight. We announced that.
And I'm looking forward, and obviously you do have settlerseastore.com, which people can go to support you. And
thank you.
But yeah, I understand that it's never the same, because you set this up because I know you have such a big love for the community and bringing people together for gaming.
Yeah.
So you can't get that when you're just sending out games to other people in the same way.
Yeah. It's not the same, and you've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, absolutely.
Jason, what are you looking forward to?
It's quite an empty week for me, but I suppose I'm actually looking forward to our discussion tomorrow. Just put that mini plug in there.
Oh yeah. So actually, and Paul Cole says what was good was their grand making them dinner tonight, and it was nice. And also, it's good that you're reopening, Shazz. Got a bit more love there.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
And I've got free cards.
Paul's really cool. Sorry, just saying, Paul sometimes watches my streams and stuff. So, hi, Paul. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm kind of envious of your dinner because I'm about to go make mine. So, I don't know what I'm going to make. But yours sounds nice. So.
I mean, I managed to cook dinner tonight without burning the place down because, just so you know, Shazz, I don't cook. I'm a
That's good.
terrible cook. But I can boil gnocchi, fry up some veg, throw it in with cheese and bacon, and put it in the oven. That's my level. Al pesto.
That sounds okay. That sounds pretty good.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need that.
If you have enjoyed this, before I announce the winner, which I promise do in like 2 minutes, you can follow me on my websites. It's over there, stuffwithbez.com, twitter.com/stuffwithbez, instagram.com/stuffwithbez, twitch.tv/stuffwithbez, or facebook.com/thingsbybez. And if you've enjoyed this, then go to the Facebook or the Twitch and follow us. And finally, you can also reach out via email if you just want to send me anything. And that is stuffbybez@gmail.com. And the next stream is going to be tomorrow at 10 a.m. because I do my usual morning daily 10 a.m. stream, which is already up on the Facebook. That's going to be with Jason, and we're going to be chatting about conventions. It's going to be great. And then Saturday, I'm talking with Calvin Wong from Malaysia, who's a writer, which is really exciting. They're a board game reviewer / writer. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be talking with Shazz. So we're going to be spending an hour just talking about how Shazz is looking forward to reopening within the new climate. And, because it's a scary world, but, not everything's bad. There are a lot of good things going on.
I actually have some news that's happening this weekend. I just got pinged by someone from my team. This weekend, I'm releasing I believe it's the third, I can't remember if it's the third or fourth now, but third original soundtrack on Bandcamp for Adventurers and Artists. So that's releasing.
Yay.
So like the music from the Dungeons and Dragons improvised music podcast.
So, just to let you know, in my hands, I have one card that's on it. It says DT, which might be for Darius Twyman. Daz Twyman. I have one that's AP, the first 2 letters of Paul, and I also have an E for Azabasa. Now, as you're the special guest, Shazz, I'm going to let you choose which of these cards, this one, or that one, or the other.
One.
This, that, or the other. This, that, or the other. This, that.
Let's go with that.
That's the one in the middle.
That.
And that is DT for Darius Twyman.
Sounds good.
Sorry, Daz Twyman. Sorry. And just to show, I had the other 2 cards here. And so, Daz, congratulations, you won. Let me know what you would like. You can either get Inabine Jr. or you get. It's fair enough. So, Daz, you can either get Inabine Jr. and I'll throw in some stickers in there if you want that one, of Kitsy Cataclysm stickers, which I'm just starting to send out to everyone, or you can get a bespoke 10-minute drawing. And thank you everyone in the comments for being so supportive. And you can reach out to me anytime, you know my Facebook and whatnot, or you can. So that brings us to the end of the show. It has been lovely again. It has been lovely having Jason, the musician. We've got Shazz from Settlers. And I have been Bez. Oh, awesome. And Daz, let me know what you would like drawn, and you can tell me whenever you're ready, and I'll send it out to you in a week or so. That is the end of the show, and so there's only one thing left to do, which is to say... Man, that's... Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. But now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everybody.